We have a jobs emergency and we have a climate emergency. We can only fix them together. So we call for the creation of 20 million jobs, like the New Deal, where we created millions of jobs in a matter of months, actually. This time, those jobs will also transition our economy to clean, renewable energy, to a healthy, local organic food system, and to public transportation. It turns out we also get healthy in the process here, because if you clean up the pollution that kills 200,000 people a year, and we have healthy food, and we've got public transportation. It's like, what's not to love about this picture? In fact, it pays for itself just in the savings in healthcare alone, and it also makes wars for oil obsolete once we've greened our energy system. So this is like an emergency program that will revive our economy, and it will put an end to climate change, and it will end the crisis of unemployment and joblessness for once and for all. It basically creates the right to a job at a living wage.
Unless the people rise up and say enough, because we're even corrupting the courts now.
The reality is that the two-party system has not been serving we the people. And so until and when we rise together as a nation, as a world, as a country world, that's when we're going to bring about real change, believing in change. Consciousness is rising, and we are seeing what's real, what isn't real.
I don't think that we can arrange the challenges in which we face in terms of what's a priority. Everything's important. We have to think holistically about those challenges. So the degradation of the planet, it should concern all of us. War and the United States unbearable imperialism, that's a problem. Trade laws that don't allow for workers' rights, human rights, environmental quality principles. We need to change that. The fact that so many young people can't get a decent education. All of these things should concern us, and we have to have the ability to be able to hold multiple goals simultaneously and pursue a newer world without saying, well, first we got to take care of this and then we take care of that. No, there's so many different things that we have to work on simultaneously, and I think we're capable of doing that.
And some of us are working on implementing, even personally, whatever we can. Everyone needs to be on board. Everyone. I understand people in this capitalist system feel trapped, overworked and underpaid, strapped for free time, etc. After all, it is a system that demands more and more profits be created. Now, I understand that there are multiple family and other obligations, but everyone is going to have to make major sacrifices. There is a Medicare for All system that already exists for some of our citizens. Universal basic income is a real, at least short-term solution. And we can start now to create hundreds of worker-owned, democratically structured worker cooperatives in our communities. And as the number of cooperatives grow, we can get more and more people back to work. We can put pressure on the politicians to raise taxes on the rich and the wealthiest corporations again. That has been done before. It was as high as 94 in the 30s, 92% in the 50s. And it does bring more significant amounts of revenue into the system in order to help create millions more jobs. This has been done before with the New Deal in the 1930s. And this can also include providing more resources and support programs for entrepreneurs and those desiring to create worker cooperatives, and for jobs focused on transitioning our energy systems. We can implement free college and trade school training programs, eliminate student loan debt, and even pass legislation to make all of these human rights part of the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We can demand overturning Citizens United and any law that allows the floodgates of private corporate money and lobbyists to infiltrate our political system on all levels everywhere. We can create a new electoral process for proportional seat representation in our government legislatures, from local to state to federal, and open the system to more than just the two so-called political parties. We can implement ranked choice voting for presidential elections so that we aren't limited to the two parties or even to winner-take-all or electoral college systems. We can end superdelegates and coin tosses during the primary season, Stop using the cross-check computer program to remove eligible voters from the rolls and create other regulations to stop the gerrymandering of districts around the country and other corruption in the electoral process. We can do a lot of things to prepare for the next system. More people are realizing this as they learn about the historical realities of nations in the modern civilized world that have had more than one constitution, that change is inevitable. Critics of capitalism are on the rise, as they should be, as the system is analyzed in the 21st century by more people. The signs of a system in decline should clearly show us that the need to build a foundation for the infrastructure of a new system exists. This is not a new thing. There have been times in which this has been done in history. Even in the creation of the USA 250 years ago, a group of people knew that they didn't want to be ruled by the British monarchy or the Church of England. Surely we've come further along in our understanding since that time. If we haven't, we must be honest with ourselves if we want a future world that is truly compassionate, democratic, egalitarian, and equal. This will require much more than reform to address the crises that we have created through the system that dominates. The system that puts profits and money before people and planet. We need priorities of our system that are at the foundation, the basis, and the root of our societies to be more compassionate, equitable, democratic, equal, and egalitarian, truly putting the people and planet before profits and money. We must do this if we are to survive and then thrive on this planet. There's a lot every one of us can do to educate ourselves. I recommend movies such as The Inside Job, about the 2008 crisis, which won an Academy Award, The Corporation, which explains the obvious subject matter implied in the name, Shift Change, about worker cooperatives in Mondragon Valley in Spain, and others in Cleveland, Ohio, Brooklyn, New York, and the Bay Area of Northern California, and Naomi Klein's The Take, about the workers taking over factories in Argentina and creating worker cooperatives. DemocracyAtWork.info focuses on democratizing enterprises. What are you going to do for your part from here, now, and going onward? This is Dan Niswander. We are the roots of the system, and we must be enlightened to create real solutions. Thank you for your time and tuning in to the Nowman Show.